Tubes. Boom. All right. Okay. What do we got going on here? We're live on both. At least we should be. So, pardon the big ladder and all the crazy construction stuff in here. We're trying to get everything set up and ready to open this coming Tuesday, and there's still a lot to do. But we're super excited. Sorry, I'm looking at the. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, just looking at the monitor over here. It looks kind of funky. So anyway, yeah, we just got new internet here and everything. Hopefully it's coming through okay on your end. If you guys have any questions or anything that you guys would like to see, kind of throw it out there and let us know, and we'll do our best to share it with you. Yeah, that might change later. It will, if it's not coming through with the greatest resolution right now. I believe that when it uploads, it'll upload to HD. So, yeah. What does that allow you to do?
I can do 720 on.
That's good. Sorry for all the technical stuff going on here, getting things going. So, yeah. Anyway, lots of excitement, lots of craziness going on. I'm a little bit. I'm going to change the angle of the camera here, just so we can make sure we can do some techniques, and you guys can see what we're trying to do. Here we go. It's a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That works good. Yeah. All right. So, we were working on. What were we working on in the kids class?
The kids class.
Yeah, we just did some stuff in the kids class. It's always a good starting point sometimes to kind of go over really some basic stuff and kind of talk about some. Yeah.
I think we did modified mount to taking the back.
Modified mount to taking the back. So let's start with that, and then let's talk about a couple of modified mount escapes, since I know that's your favorite position to be stuck in. Yeah, I think we did this a while back. I think we've covered this before, I think, in one of the earlier ones from the bunker. But we've crawled out of the bunker, and yeah, I want to show one little detail that's kind of really helpful to when you're taking the back.
Is that okay?
I think we're good, yeah. So when you go to modified mount, all right, so she goes here, she tries to escape, I go to modified mount, and I get to this position. The most common thing we're going to try to attack is this, okay? So if I arrive in this position and her hand is not near her neck, I'm reaching, okay? And this hand was in the collar. I'm helping pull her to her side, but I'm also sliding my hand down the collar so that when I get here, even if I reach and I practice this, okay, all I need is my thumb to be underneath of her neck. So when I reach, I want to practice this a lot. So when she tucks her chin, doesn't matter, I still have the collar. Now, when I grab the collar and I'm pulling it here like this, I'm folding it. Small little detail, but it makes the grip a lot easier to hold on to. So when you're there, open up that collar so that your fingers kind of wrap around. It makes a good grip. Once I have that, now I can come underneath, straighten the arm for the choke, or if she defends the neck, I can go here and pass the leg over the head for the arm lock. If she's locking everything down, I want to come under everything. I come under this, I lock my hands together. Very important to have a tight control with your chest. You want to have a good connection with your chest on their shoulder blade, okay? And I got opposing pressure here because I don't want her to just slip and turn back to face me, all right? Especially when I pull her back. So that's where a lot of people lose the back mount, is that when they try to transition, they give a lot of space, a lot of slack, easy for the person to turn, okay? So a couple details that really make it nice here is I'm pulling in here like this, and I drive like this with my chest on her back. Now I'm going to fold the leg in. When I pull her back, sometimes people get stuck here, and the person gets really heavy, and we don't quite have the back, and you end up in a position like this. This is not the most ideal scenario. So when you pull the person back, get the hook here, but shift your hips underneath. So now she kind of falls into the pocket, and now I can throw the hook in. And as I'm doing that, I want to attack the neck as soon as I can, because I want the arms away so that I can get that hook. I can get my second hook in and solidify that position. Solidify is not the greatest word, is it? Make it a good position. Sorry, we're dusting off our gis and stuff. There's all sorts of, like, you name it, like craziness going on. And yeah, anyway, yeah, I just wanted to start with that. Just show a little bit of small details and taking the back mount in that position. If I can force them to go over and flatten them out, I really prefer that. But let's kind of go over that real quick and see how that kind of changes. Actually, are you sure? Can you do that one okay?
What one?
When I force you over?
I'm sure I'll be fine.
I don't know. This is quarantine, Robin. Got a little bit of extra weight.
As do
coming
I.
in. Yes. So if you want to flatten the person out, which is actually what I prefer, when I get them to their side, when they turn to their side, and I get that good chest connection, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my foot. Think of it like a pole vault. So I'm going to lift up a little bit so you guys can see. I think, are we in the frame here? Yeah, I think we are. Okay, let's scoot back just a little bit so you guys can see. Okay, so what's going to happen is when I start putting pressure this way, I'm going to drive this way and actually up that direction towards your head. So almost like a curve. And when I drive like this and I do that, what happens is the pressure, it starts to twist her spine and it pushes her hips into my foot. So it's almost like a pole vault. You're running, there's pressure, and then what happens is it drives her hips up. Okay, it lifts her hips up off the floor so you can see what happens here. And when that lifts up off the floor, if my back foot is in the right spot, it's going to slide underneath. So let's turn around this direction, and we'll show them what happens on the back side here. Okay, is there's just enough space. Let's turn a little bit more. Okay, when I start driving like this, it starts to lift her hips up. Now the second hook can come in, and as soon as my foot comes underneath of her hip, I start to put that pressure down. I open my knees, and her hips are actually facing the floor, okay? And once you're there, you put your feet together, your second hook comes in. If it's underneath of that hip, you open your knees, you flatten your hips down, and that's what I prefer. So if I can get that, you know, I'll take that first because I think having them flattened out is way better position. It's like the queen mother of positions. So if you can get them there, usually it's pretty much all over but the boo-hooing, right? It's something my first jiu-jitsu instructor used to say all the time. Very funny guy. All over but the boo-hooing. Basically, I mean, they're pretty much cooked. And if they don't want that to happen, it actually makes pulling them back much easier, okay? Because they're giving them that resistance. So in jiu-jitsu, we always want to take the path of least resistance, right? That's one of the most important principles of jiu-jitsu. In fact, I think that's the most important principle. That's what makes it jiu-jitsu, right? I had this conversation with Pedro Valenche. If we can't, we'll put a link into the comments after we're done here. Great, he put on a great. Had a great, like, I don't know, speech, whatever. Sorry, she's got somebody coming in to grab their shoes.
He's gonna ramble.
Yeah, I am going to ramble. So the discussion basically he gave at the last Jiu-Jitsu Lifestyle Summit, which was out in California. I got invited out by Hero, and it was a fantastic time. And I've got a bunch of video. I still haven't put it together. I should have, you know, had plenty of time during this whole quarantine thing. But he gave one of my favorite parts was he gave this discussion on what jiu-jitsu is and the history of it, and part of that he discussed the actual term and the name jiu-jitsu and what it actually means, the kanji, and ju is like means soft or yielding flexibility, and that's a very, very important concept in jiu-jitsu. It's that yielding flexibility. If it doesn't fit that, then you're forcing something, and that's not jiu-jitsu, right? So you always are looking for that path of least resistance. So I may want to take her back. I may want to flatten her out, but if I can't, I go with it, and taking the back on the other side is easier. So always look for those opportunities in all your techniques, if you're training and you run into a roadblock, you run into a position where you're expending a lot of energy and it's not moving, you're not being productive. That's where you want to figure out. That's where you want to put the sticky note. You want to, put a pin in it and say, okay, where is it that I can improve here? There's either a technical answer, right? Either I'm doing it. I'm doing the technique wrong, or I'm doing it at the wrong time, or maybe they have the answer. If they have the answer, I need the answer to that answer. So that's, I think, the best, especially for more skilled players. At first, everything seems difficult, right? But for more skilled players, blue belt and above, I think when you get to, or especially purple belt and above, when you get to that point where you can, where you're expending a great deal of energy, that's your opportunity to find out, like, that's where you want to start asking questions. Ask your training partners, ask your instructor, what can I do better in this position? I'm spending a lot of energy here, right? So I think to really reach the highest levels of technical proficiency and really develop good jiu-jitsu, that's really what you want to be focusing on. So anyway, I'm done rambling.
Okay.
For now. Yeah. Let's see. We got any questions?
Got a couple of what's ups. I don't.
What's up?
know.
What's up?
Let me double
What's
check
up? What's
the
up?
Chat over here is
Not much is what's
doing
up.
everything.
Pretty
Right now
nice
it says-
setup. I like this.
We're getting there, little by little. Butter stopped in to get his flip-flops so we wouldn't throw them out.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. We have some crazy provisions we've got to dance through when we open up. I mean, much of it for very good reason. I mean, obviously we want to make sure that when we open, we're being very responsible. We're following what the state guidelines are. Not because they're guidelines, but because they're really, we just have to be responsible when we open up. And I think we can do that, and we're really busting our butts to get the place in order. So we're doing a lot of work today and really just over the weekend. So not much of a holiday for us. We're gonna be busting butt, and yeah.
Then we gotta clean up the mess.
Then we got to clean up the mess. That's where we're wiping, like,
There's like
insulation
sawdust and insulation.
it's
and-
just crazy in here. But we'll have it nice and clean and sanitized before we open up for a class. And yeah, we're just excited to get back at it. And yeah, I mean, we're going to be taping off sections of the mat. We'll probably teach in a little bit of a different format. We've got some visual aids up here that we've put up. I guess we could call those TVs.
That would be the
Televisions.
technical term.
Technical term for visual aid, televisions. We have televisions up here along the mat so that when we're teaching the techniques, because I'm not going to be able to touch every single student. I'll probably be stuck in one spot for the most part. And so we'll have the technique that I'm teaching, we'll have it demonstrated on the TVs at the same time. So yeah, we're really excited. It's given us an opportunity to really reevaluate how we teach in the classroom, and I think it'll improve the classroom quite a bit, especially when we get to a point where we can expand and have more students on the mat, right? At first, we're only gonna be able to have basically an instructor and their partner, and then 6 blocks of 2 people. And so, yeah, I mean, each class, it's gonna be different. We've got people come in, they've got to, sanitize the whole deal, like, and then once the class is over, we have to clean the entire academy. Obviously, we always clean the mats in between classes anyways, but now we've got to have like a half-hour block in between classes so we can clean, sanitize all the surfaces, things like that, clean the bathrooms every class, and just things that really are only going to enhance, just, it's basically taking what we were doing already from a cleaning protocol and just doing it, more often and a little bit more,
better.
More better. Just like our jiu-jitsu will get more better when we're able to get back on the mat. And but unfortunately, my eyesight is not more better. I'm getting old and my eyes are starting to get a little weak. I used to have like perfect vision, but now I'm having a hard time reading that. I need my readers.
We have Ronald and Paul both said hello.
What's going on?
We have Allison and Mike Noyce.
Do we have anything? Any questions?
No questions. People
No
are just
questions?
saying hi.
Well, thanks for saying hi, everybody. Do you have any questions?
I have a million questions.
What's your
but
question? Give me one. Give me one question.
I don't have one question. Not one.
If you could
particular
pick one superpower, what would it be? That was our question for the kids' class. What would your
I said it
superpower
would be pretty cool to fly, but the more I
That's
think
it.
about it, I'm like, they
That's
were
it.
all pointing out, somebody said telekinesis, and I thought, you know what, that
Be
would be
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool.
Yes, because you could just like make yourself levitate, right? If you, so maybe that would be a bonus.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know all the rules
we
of
don't have the
superpowers.
I don't either. But if you could fly, but you don't have invincibility, that's kind of a problem. Because you fly really fast, and then say a bird flies in front of you, you hit the bird, like it's gonna suck. Or if you hit a plane or something, or just crash land, you're dead. Well, good's flying if you can't, you know.
So would you say invincibility is more important?
Maybe. I mean, if you're invincible, like nothing could, you know.
So if you're invincible, do you still get hurt? Like, or do you not feel pain at all?
Well, I would imagine not.
Because I would imagine, like, if you would withstand some pretty traumatic pain and not actually die from it.
Theoretical jujitsu. This is like the worst live we've ever done.
Probably.
Get Mr. Fantastic powers and never get tapped again.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Laws of-
But
laws
since
of
since
non-physical.
superpowers don't really exist,
Mike Noyce is
Just improve
voting,
your jujitsu.
Wolverine's healing factor.
There you go.
Wolverine's healing factor. Yeah, but it's not going to help you from getting beat up from super strength over here, right? So that was his pick, I think. Yeah. So since it doesn't exist, get the closest thing, which is jujitsu, right?
Good plug.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it is like having a superpower. If you are, and everybody from blue belt and above, if you know what I'm talking about, right? It's a remarkable difference. The you know, just a basic level of jiu-jitsu is just a massive difference between somebody who doesn't know anything. It's incredible. It's like cheating. Like when we first started, like nobody knew what jiu-jitsu was, and it was just like people from other styles come in, they try it, and it was just like, it was mad. They had no idea what was going on. It was just like, it felt like voodoo to them. And it felt like that to me. Like I first, you know, like experienced it. I'm like, that's great. Why didn't I think of that? I've had 25 years of, why didn't I think of that? That's amazing. I'd see somebody else like, you know, Hickson show at something, and it's like, where was that 20 years ago? You know, it makes that position so much easier. You know, it's the same with Helson. Sometimes Helson would just, you know, you'd have this problem you think is so complex, and he'd give you the simplest answer, and it would work perfectly. And you're like, well, why didn't I think of that? So, it's pretty cool. And
We
that's,
had a question about the regulations. They are state specific. It's not a.
they are, yeah.
It's not. They had asked if it was a Gracie Academy thing, and
No.
we have state mandates that we
Yes.
have to
And
follow.
and whatever those state mandates are, we're going above and beyond and making sure that we are keeping the place as safe as we can, especially at the beginning. It's going to take us some time to really feel it out, but we're just excited to be able to get back on the mat and get to it. And I know there's so many academies out there that aren't able to open yet, and man, it's just, we were there, and now it's coming as, you know, to reality that we're going to be able to open again, but it's not going to be like it was before. I mean, any given night we'd have 30, 35 people in you know, a fundamentals class in here, and then they'd come out, and then we'd have another one, and you know, it's just crazy. So yeah. So anyway, I think we're done with techniques. Do we have anything else we want to throw
No,
out there?
it's time to get to work.
Time to get to work. We're going to try to finish this place up and clean it up, and that's it. I think we're going to call it a day. That was my cue to my
Producer
my production assistant over here, who's
to hit
doing
the
a
X button.
pretty good job of playing on his phone. But I think that's it. We'll see you guys. Take care.